Last week we did a little bit. We got to this point right here. What's it doing? There we go. Last week we got to the point where the Guardians were getting ready to take on Rex the Hoblin King with a little more seriousness. So that's where we are right now, and looks like Jack, from what I remember, or what I'm seeing here, is that Jack, the character of Jack, is going to be absolutely wrecking Rex's day. So, like I said, in this stream, we're actually I have in mind that I'm going to complete this entire chapter as far as editing goes. And then we're going to read back through it again just to make sure everything is hunky-dory and kind of where it should be. But, yeah. Let me adjust a thing over here. Oop. All right. So, away we go! All right, so... Wait, okay, so... Oh, that is way back there. I don't want to do that. I want to come down here first. We want to be where we are at. Nope, even further down. Okay, here we go. I see. Well, in that case, I'll just have to kill you. With another wave of his staff, Rex shot a beam of light at them, at which Helen's cloak became an energy whip, snapping it on the spell. But no, that's just bleh. Let's see, doing so... Cause the frigid spell to detonate sooner, chilling the air to Arctic-like temperatures. That should do the trick, Rex chortled triumphantly, holding up his staff to catch the 4 shurikens Olsen had hurled at him. Rex was about to cast another spell when a splitting pain shot through his arm, seeing a kunai stuck into it. Oh, seeing a kunai stuck into it. Okay. Here we go. Where did that come from? He thought, seeing the culprit as Ozzy. So it was you, he growled, and charged until Jack appeared. Let's see. Let's try doing this. The pirates... Yeah, because that's what Jack is. And for those of you who don't know, who are unfamiliar with the game of Maplestory, there are 5 base classes called Explorers, of which there are warriors, archers, thieves, mages, and pirates. There's like a ton of classes, but then after those 5 base classes, every other one is kind of based on those 5 like categories kind of deal. Jack is one of those explorer pirates. So he, in the class of pirates, there are technically 3 subclasses of the explorers, but for now we're just going to stick with 2. There are the buccaneers, I believe, which are like just fists up brawlers, and they use like bladed boxing gloves essentially for their weapons. And then there are the corsairs, which are gunslingers essentially. And they have all kinds of like gun-related attacks and whatnot. Jack here, being that he's supposed to be like the ultimate hero of the pirates, the guardian pirate is essentially what he's called. He is a combination of both, but he is more so a brawler than anything. All right. The pirate's fists glowed and sizzled as threads of electricity enveloped his fist. A clap of thunder tore through the cave as Jack made contact with the hyena. With Rex's hyena. Once again, throwing him back into his ice prison. Okay, so we can get rid of once. Clanking gears rose above the noise, and as scorching flames obliterated the icy cloud around them. Lillian jumped high, spinning in a tight ball before bringing the cutting edge of her halberd down hard. The ground shook as it hit, while ice exploded from the ground, wrapping around Rex's legs. Come on. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. And spears of ice. Exploded in a trail aimed at Rex. Okay. Freezing his legs in place. There we go. Alrighty. Sorry if it keeps looking like I look over to the side over here. I'm checking over on my moderation computer just to see what's going on. And it has a quicker update onto members of the audience and people in chat, so that's why I keep looking over here. But, yeah. The ground shook as it hit, and spears of ice exploded in a trail aimed at Rex, freezing his legs in place. Jenny and Antonia both aimed and... no, just fired. Their power arrows. No. Piercing through Rex's arms and legs. Rex's extremities. And pinning him to the wall. Matthew drew his azure banshee and held it up to the ceiling as Nathan charged. Matthew with an invisible swing a shockwave exploded into a shockwave exploded, pushing Nathan faster. Pink. Nope. Not oink light. Pink light. Not oink light. Pink light gathered around the shaft of his spear. Okay, so Nathan shouted as pink light gathered around the shaft. Gathered at his hands. As he stabbed and stabbed through Rex's chest. Cracking the ice behind him. Oh, no. caving in the... let's see. Cracking and caving the wall of ice behind him. Rex coughed as a spray of blood flew from his lips. Let's see. Barely missing Nathan as he sidestepped the foul-smelling liquid. Barley? No, barely. Okay. My. I think I underestimated you. To deliver such a devastating blow to me so quickly. You must truly be the guardians of Osiria. But you see, you haven't won yet. Rex grunted as he pulled his arm free, pulled the spear from his chest and through his side. He then pulled the arrows from his limbs as a bluish-white glow surrounded him. Let's see. Okay. Healing his wounds. There we go. Let's see. In a blur, Rex rushed Nathan. Rex rushed Nathan, Lillian, Matthew, and Lillian with little more than a swing of his hands. No. Bringing them all to their knees. Ness. Okay. That's a new one for you. Knees. In the next instant, he knocked Jenny and Antonia to the ground. Knocked Jenny and Antonia unconscious. Olsen and Ozzy did their best to keep up with him, but his blinding speed was far more than they could handle. Even when using the pink quartz. Power. Olsen couldn't stay ahead of him. What's... Let's see. Eventually, Ozzy was flung across the cave, as was Olsen, who corrected himself. Landing on the wall while wiping his mouth. Of a drop of blood. Eris aimed and was about to use her newly learned invisible bullet, but before she could, but Rex disappeared before she what? Locked on? Well, she doesn't have a lock-on feature. She's basically looking down the iron sights of her pistol is what she's doing. Before she could? Okay, let's see. Oh, wow, that's terrible. There we go. That's her name. Eris aimed and was about to use her newly learned invisible bullet, but Rex disappeared before she could.
Jack, I have a special way for you to die,
Rex said from somewhere in the cave as Eris went flying.
Try and keep your precious apprentice safe, he said,
appearing above where he had been imprisoned and holding his staff high, the green-eyed skull atop his staff glowing brightly. Eris slowly picked herself off the ground. Picked herself up off the ground as she saw pillars of light surround her. From the light, Rex's trusted Hoblin soldiers stepped out, armed with spiked maces and dull swords. Eris tried She tried compressing her mana into a grenade, but she hadn't perfected... But Eris hadn't perfected making one with a single hand. As she tried, her right arm hurt beyond standing as the mana she was compressing fell to the ground in thick blue puddles. In a thick blue puddle. She tried reaching for her pistol, but that was kicked out. But... Oh. Okay. So do I have the soldiers kick her away or kick the pistol away? Probably kick the pistol away. But it was kicked out of reach by one of the soldiers. Two more of Rex's guards appeared around Jack. Two more guards appeared around Jack, pointing their dull swords into his throat.
Now, what will you do, Jack?
Rex asked with a gravelly sneer. One of the Hoblin soldiers raised his mace above his head, ready to strike Eris as Jack bowed. Ready to strike Eris when Jack smirked and bowed his head. Rex became frantic as he saw the snickering smile on his... Rex became frantic, ordering his soldiers to kill the apprentice. Jack's eyes glowed bright red when he raised his head, swinging his arms from their resting position inwards and... Okay. So swinging his arms from their resting position inwards and upwards, he drove the shark fin-like spikes on his knucklers into the floor. I need to speed this up. crossing... No, hold on. Crossing his arms. He buried the shark-like fins of his knucklers into... Let's see. No. Foreheads of the hoblins. Next. Into the guards' foreheads. Okay, so that's a little faster. No, don't want to do that. After drawing his infinity pistol, a second slid out from his sleeve. As he ran at the group surrounding Eris. With a kick, he backflipped. Backflipped? Let's see. He backflipped off a chunk of ice with a kick. Backflip off a chunk of ice. Kicking a hoblin in the chin as he... kicking a hoblin in the chin. The guns roared as a cloud of sub-zero air blasted the hoblins. As he landed in the middle of the group. With a satisfying clang, the mace coming down on Eris' head slammed into his knuckler.
Stay low,
he whispered into her ear as he pushed off the mace. As he stood and pushed off the mace. All right, let's see. There we go. That's a little more comfortable now. Had to readjust my chair here because my back was getting a little sore. All right. So, okay. So we can speed this way up. in a blur of movement resembling a dance. Jack fired all his loaded shots into the heads of the surrounding hoblins. As Jack standing after a few moments, they all collapsed to the ground, revealing the pirate guardian standing with the hammers, the pistols meeting one another. Creating what appeared to be a cross. Okay, so we can get rid of all of this. Sweet. Because really, what I was trying to, when I initially did this scene, what I was initially trying to basically describe was a scene from a, like, I got big, hold on, what's going on here? Okay. I got a big inspiration for this particular scene from the movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale. And it is from a scene where he is, the movie is really kind of interesting, and I would recommend it. It's kind of along the same lines as maybe like 1984 or something like that. That's what I was trying to describe beforehand, but it was way too wordy, slowed the story way down, so that's why I have since compressed it into this. Okay, so Rex grabbed his legs in agony, seeing the bullet holes in his thighs, making him collapse to the ground. I always make that same mistake, making his collapse to the ground. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, right. What did you just do? Rex asked between his grunts of pain as the other Guardians began to wake back up. Guardians woke back up. It's a new trick I've been learning from my Aunt Shalinch. Okay, let's see. It's a new technique I've been learning from my Aunt Shalinch. It took me a while to perfect it, but perfected, but I'm the guardian pirate over Syria. I can learn anything. The ice around... Wait, what? Two he had frozen before it started to break apart when two bomb arrows were shot, obliterating them into tiny pieces. Jack uncovered his... Ah, okay. Around the two Jack had frozen started to break apart until a bomb arrow obliterated them into until bomb arrows. Okay, so like one from Antonia and one from Jenny. Until bomb arrows obliterated them into tiny pieces. Jack uncovered his face and smiled as he saw Jenny and Antonia lowering their bows.
This is far from over!
Rex shouted. Okay. Raising his staff. Only to scream in pain. With a satisfying ring of a blade. His hand flew away, making Rex howl in pain. Let's see. We're going to get rid of this because it's just... As the dagger Olsen had thrown stuck into the wall behind him, with his clenched hand perfectly perched atop it. Seething in pain, Rex Rex was frozen in pain as he tried to comfort his pulsing arm, while Olsen pried his detached hand from the staff. I say that it is, Rex, Olsen said with a confident swagger. Confidently, okay. Rex glared. No. At Olsen, with pure wrath in his eyes. You think that you've won? You've just slowed me down. One day I shall rise up. Okay, rise again. And take Elnath for myself, he shouted, as Shamos approached him and began using the second-rate healing techniques he had learned. Guys, wait outside. I'll be there in a minute, Matthew said. The group did as he asked. as Lillian kissed him on the cheek and left. Lillian kissed him on the cheek and left with the others. When he was sure they were out of earshot, Matthew's smoldering gaze turned to them.
What is it that you're after? Why do you want to take Elnath?
Matthew asked with a growl.
Because I can! Those benevolent advance masters couldn't. No, they wouldn't acknowledge the great warrior that I was when I was human.
You were human? Matthew asked.
Rex smiled. Yes, indeed I was. But since they wouldn't teach me anything, I left them. They said I held no respect in how to...
for... using one's power.
It's pure nonsense. Power is everything. Without it, you are a weakling struggling to make your puny existence worth something. That's when I heard of the Skull Staff, able to grant you power hundreds of times past what you thought possible. It was that staff that changed me into what I am now. When I returned from my journeys to find it, there were those who tried to stand against me.
What's going on here?
Some tried to stand against me, but it was easy enough to wipe them from the face of...
Wipe them from my sight.
With that new power, I will overtake the Advance Masters, and I will rule over Elnath.
Matthew lowered his eyes and gripped the handle of the Azure Banshee even harder, the leather wrap creaking.
Innocent lives. So many innocent lives were lost because of people like you searching for this overwhelming power that can destroy anything. Such a power doesn't exist.
Have been lost. Oh, there's one. Okay.
So many innocents.
Have died.
Because of people like you searching for this overwhelming power that can destroy anything. Such a power doesn't exist, Matthew growled.
Ruby power beginning to seep from him like smoke. Rex smiled and pointed a scrawny finger at him.
Isn't that what you are doing? Training and searching for power to overcome anything? Namely the Black Mage?
Matthew looked back at Rex, stunned as well as surprised.
Don't lump my reasons in with yours for my gaining power, Matthew shouted. Oh? Then why are you seeking to become so powerful? You just want to ensure that your beliefs in life aren't torn to shreds. I am nothing like you, Matthew howled, a wave of ruby power pulsing from him. Oh, but you are. As I said before, nothing but power is what matters in this world. Shut up! Matthew yelled as he swung his Azure Banshee, making a shockwave rip through the cave and hurl Rex into the wall. You and me, we're exactly the same. We are both warriors, seeking to be as powerful as we can. I am nothing like you, growled Matthew, as more power from the ruby crystal began to flow freely from his body, flinging his hair into the air and making his eyes glow with a strange brownish-red light. The Azure Banshee began howling as the blade vibrated. Matthew's steps sizzled from the hot power burning all around him as he closed the distance between them. Look at yourself. Do you think that you just want power? To have power so that you can protect others? That couldn't be further from the truth. You all want power so that you will be unopposed. Matthew raised his sword. Matthew raised his sword above Rex's heart. Shambles throwing himself over Rex as a shield just as Matthew began driving the blade down with a shout. Matthew, no! Lillian shouted, running in front of Matthew and holding back his immense arms, nearly unable to hold him back. Lily, what are you doing? Move! No, I can't let you do this, she grunted, summoning all her strength just to hold him back. Not while you're like this. Yes, I know how badly you want to kill him, but if you kill him while you're like this, you won't be able to turn back. You said once that you wanted to protect me, and I took those words to heart. And the same goes for you. I want to protect you as well. Lillian's arms began to give under Matthew's ruby-powered strength. Slowly, but it slowly... Let's see. It slowly faded until as he dropped his arms. Once the glow stopped, he lost consciousness and fell into Lillian's arms, dropping the Azure Banshee into the ground. Lillian eyed Rex and Shamos as they trembled, picking up Matthew and carrying him out of the cave, while Jack and Helen carried out the large violet null crystal. Lillian returned from Matthew's sword before heading for Ludibrum and the Omega Sector. Calling for the tickets ship so they could
You know what? I need to check something with that ship. Okay, so he's coming. He was able to come back. So they could head for Ludibrium and the Omega Sector. Okay. After a few minutes. Later to meet them in town. Once aboard the ship, Joel handed them a message requesting their presence in the Omega Sector at the bottom of one of Ludibrium's towers. Oh man, my neck is really crunchy. All right. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, right. Dragon stepped into the clearing where he had met Dia the day before. So many things had happened to him. First, he found out that he was half seraphim, which allowed him to control the Dark Nalkana. And then he found out... Okay. Let's see. Found that Eleanor wanted to have a relationship with him. It was so much to take in all at once. Dragon, I'm so glad I'm able to see you again. I can see you again, my son, Dia said as she descended and put her arms around him. Dragon remained still until Dia let him go and backed away. Concerned that he hadn't returned her embrace. Mother, what happened to me? Why do I not remember anything? Dragon asked. The images of that girl with the mass of hair and big guns rescuing him played over in his head. Everything I remember is from 3 years ago. Had been attacked. If our village had been attacked when I was 10, then what happened to me the other decades that I don't remember? I don't know. I never was able to find you after the attack. Nor did I hear anything about you before I was sent to that other world. before we were sent to that other world. Dia explained. Dragon nodded slowly. Then she must know what happened. When I next get the chance, I must speak with her. Dragon thought. Oh, this is him thinking. So we need to do that. Dragon thought as Dia brushed his hair aside. And put her fingertips under his chin, tilting his gaze back to hers. I'm surprised that you remember your real name. Or that I'm your mother, but not your past or who you are. Yes, I know it's sad and strange, but it is what it is. It is what it is, Dragon replied. Dia smiled as she hugged him once more and placed something in his hand. These were your father's. I'm sure that he would want you to have them, Dia said, kissing him on the forehead, then spreading her enormous wings, flying off into the sunset. My next move should be to find out where I came from and how I was found. Dragon thought. Dragon thought, running off through the woods with even more questions mounting. Tucking the black emerald earrings. Tucking his father's black emerald earrings into his pocket. All right. All right, cool. That seems to be good. Now then, what have we got over here? All right, cool. Checky and Darren walked into the alley after hearing the informant's bell. Yeah. Even though it was midday, there was still dark shadows all around that obscured their view of who this person was. After reciting the passcode, Checky. Hecky. No. We want Checky. Relaxed. And put a hand to his hip. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. Okay. Ah, good. Oops, nope. There we go. So, what have you been able to find out? Checky asked. Okay, hold on. Okay, give me a second here. I need to change a couple things on my mouse. There we go. There we go. Now it's a little better. Alsked? What the heck? On his hip, okay.
Dragon has been slowly moving up the ranks within... within the Black Wings. In fact, he's being trusted more as an... He's being trusted more as Eleanor takes him with her nearly everywhere they go. He's being trusted more as Eleanor takes him with her nearly... let's just say everywhere.
Oh, I guess I should say, by the way, I am in no means consider myself a great writer. So if you guys have any critiques or suggestions or questions about stuff that you're hearing here, feel free to ask them in the chat, and I will address them as much as I can. Because, again, I don't consider myself a great writer. I don't consider myself even a expert on the subject. I'm just a, shall we say, a enthusiast or maybe a hobbyist at it. But, if one day I do reach the publishing site, I will still not consider myself a great writer. We'll just call myself a hobbyist for now. And hopefully it entertains in the process. Okay, so Dragon has been slowly moving up the ranks within the Black Wings. He's being trusted more as Eleanor takes him with her everywhere they go. Everywhere she goes. I even think that Eleanor has taken a liking to him. Not to mention that she's been smiling a lot more than she used to.
Dragon and Eleanor?
Darren asked in surprise.
I know it's strange. Many of the disciples are shocked by it as well. Also, I guess...
Let's see. I think... Dragon recently found out that he is half seraphim. Let's see. Recently discovered that he is half seraphim.
That's enough about Dragon. What has the Black Mage been doing? Checking demanded shortly.
Well, the unfortunate news is that he has all 5 crystal husks now, and the Intellion has been completed and tested. The grace gears are complete, and the other mana drills are still pumping in mana by the barrel. Checky put his chin between his forefinger and thumb, rubbing his elbow with the other.
It still doesn't make sense. What would the Black Mage need with so much power?
Darren asked.
I'm sorry, but if I stay much longer... the Black Mage and some of the others will begin to get suspicious. And others will begin to get suspicious.
Very well. Thank you for your intel. Checky said, as the sound of the informant leaving. As the informant leaving could be heard. No. As the informant left. Checky and Darren walked back to... While... There we go. Okay. I'll be on the lookout for that a little bit more on the next go around. Because right now, to be honest, the last time I think I edited this chapter was probably 2014, 2015. So there's a lot of stuff here that I need to re-iron out. As I have since gotten better since then, but I'm still not where I should be. Anyways, but thank you, Scroll. I will try to be more aware of that. Also, if a woman is speaking, maybe her sword sung instead of pierced. Just out of curiosity, what kind of you referring to? Kind of the previous scene? Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Okay. Well. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. Okay. I'll try to be more aware of that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be a little more aware of that though. Okay. Cool. Oh. Okay. All right. And Chucky and Darren walk back to the garage. It's like the mage has brought all his activities to a screeching halt. It's beginning to worry me, Darren said. I doubt that he's through. Let's see. It's just the calm before a much more powerful storm. Checky answered. As he walked back to his office and opened the drawer, pulling out a picture of him and his younger sister Ellie before that terrible illness wiped out his family. Nope. That's how it's spelled. All right. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see. The creaking of timber and the sounds of rushing wind. And their sound. Let's see. Slowly made Matthew open his eyes. Nope. Stupid thing. Okay, let me turn that back on. Okay. Staring all around. Huh. Seeing that he lay within within the cargo hold of the tickets ship. As he sat up, his hand brushed against he sat up. No, as he sat up. Someone else's. Making him, no. Turning to see Lillian seated on the floor and leaning against his bed, fast asleep. With a gentle motion, he tucked a stray hair away. Causing her to wake up. Matt, you're finally awake. I was worried about you, she said as she arched her back and pulled her shoulders behind her, popping her spine. Oh, that sounds good. What happened? He asked, holding his eyes shut. When a dull ache rolled through his head and shoulders. Okay. Let's see. Yes, shutting his eyes when a dull ache rolled through his head and shoulders. Lillian looked away as she recalled what he recalled. The sight of him in that cave. Cavern. Almost as if he were a monster. I think the ruby crystal went out of control. You weren't yourself. You almost killed Shamos and Rex. Then why didn't you let me? Matthew asked, throwing off the covers and setting his feet on the floor. Because if you had, you would have been permanently like that. A murderous tyrant with nothing to stop you. Matthew took a breath and nodded his head. While Lily Ann continued. Let's see. Okay. I researched the crystal's power before we left Ludibrium during the storybook incident. The crystals, while a solid in... Oh. The crystals, while a solid form of people's inner abilities... Let me get rid of that capital. also respond to emotion. When an emotion becomes too strong while using its power, the power of the crystal will completely take over and suppress the mind of the one wielding it. So then, how was I able to regain control? Matthew asked. Let's get rid of that. The only possibility is that you somehow overcame the power, overcame it. I can only assume it was because I was holding you back that disrupted the power's control. Allowing you disrupt the power. Allowing you to regain control. Okay, there we go. She answered. Sitting on the cot. Just sitting next to him. Next to him and pulling him into an embrace. Okay, so I guess it should be mentioned here. It doesn't have to be mentioned here, but I felt like it should be mentioned here. I feel like it should be mentioned here. Lillian. Itchy leg all of a sudden. Okay. So how am I imagining Lillian here? For those of you who don't know, at least the character of Lillian, the way I have decided to portray her is that she is the female version of... Hold on. Give me a second here. I need to do a thing. Okay, there we go. All right. So we'll go like this. All right. So how I've imagined Lillian in this story, she is the female version of Iran. Because like in the Maplestory, you have both, at least for the hero classes, you have a male version and you have a female version. Doesn't really change the story much. Ooh, got a bump on the back of my head there. Let's see. Do I have her? I think I do. Yes, I think I do. Let me open this up. Okay. So I'm getting you a picture here right now, so just give me just a second here. Okay. We want to this. Okay. Sorry about that. What the heck? So, no. Come on. No, I don't want to do that. Cancel. No. What the heck? Okay. Okay, let's see. No, not that. Ah, here we go. Okay, so finally, here we go. Okay, so this right here, this is the Maplestory sprite form, or Maplestory the novel sprite form of Lillian. And she is the female version of Iran in the game Maplestory. However, in this fanfiction, I have written her as Iran's daughter. Now, if I think I have a picture of him. Give me just a second here. I do. All right, cool. So then this right here, this is Iran, the original hero. He's from many years ago, many hundreds of years ago. The way I'm working with the story is about 1,000 years ago, or no, 600 years ago. That's what I'm working with. He has since come back. He is married, and he has the daughter Lillian. The other thing that I am imagining is that Lillian, because of her heritage, she herself is like 6'4". So she's a big girl. She's a big girl. And Matthew stands somewhere around 5'10"-ish. 5'9", 5'10", thereabouts. So she's taller than him. And in kind of trying to make the game mechanics real in a sense, there is, like, even at the very end of the story, I don't think I mention it, but I have always thought of that. Well, let me actually put it this way. To be honest, I actually had it reversed a little bit. That Lillian was actually a little bit shorter than Matthew. Not by much, though. But I decided to flip that just because, heck, tall girls need love too, right? So I have since reversed that. And so physically, I'm not going to get into that debate. No, not here. That's not what we're here for. So never mind. Anyways, so just saying that, Lillian is actually much taller than Matthew in this case. So, yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Against her chest. There we go. Let's see. Oops. No, like this. Thank you, Lillian. He muttered, putting his arms around her. He was about to pull back and reach up to kiss her when Olsen's voice called to them. Matthew, you're finally awake. Good thing, too. We're almost Ready to land in the Omega sector. Let's see. What are we doing going there? Matthew asked. Oops, nope. There. What's wrong? Okay. Apparently, Apparently, Dr. Kim said there was something he discovered something about the Oblivion Gauntlet. About the Oblivion Gauntlet the Black Mage has been making. And he has some new information about what he may be up to. All right, so give me a second here. My earbud is dying, so I need to swap earbuds. There we go. So now, there we go. Besides that, also my left ear was starting to hurt a little bit from having the earbud in there for so long. He answered as Joel, while descending the stairs, with Joel right behind him. Okay. There. The ship shuddered and jolted as it... No, hold on. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Yeah, it did. It was landing. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. No, we definitely don't want to do that. We want to do this. The ship shuddered and jolted for a moment as it came to rest on the ground. And Joel came into the hold a few moments later. There's Dr. Porter here to see y'all. Let's see. Okay. You better come up here before he decides to leave. Matthew steadied himself with Lillian's help as he walked up the stairs. Let's see what's... where the other guardians had already gathered. Gathered around a card table in the center of the deck. Porter readjusted his thick glasses as he looked back.
Oh, good. I'll start over to make sure that you get everything. Dr. Kim and I have been working on decrypting the Black Mage's program retrieved from his castle, and what we found is that the Oblivion Gauntlets isn't our main concern.
Porter with what appeared to be a holographic projector on it.
I need some water.
The picture. Okay. Prototyped. Okay.
Oh, good. I'll start over to make sure that you get everything. Dr. Kim and I have been working on decrypting the Black Mage's program retrieved from the castle, and what we found is that the Oblivion Gauntlet isn't our main concern.
Porter typed a few keys in and changed the picture to an object resemble a cannon. A vertical cannon. Okay. What the heck?
From what I could glean from the codes, this is something called Beyond the Clouds. There are...
How many did I say there were? I said there were a whole lot more. Like, way more. Oh! Okay. Half that many. Okay.
From what I could glean from the codes,
From what I could... From what the codes... From what the code revealed...
This is something called Beyond the Clouds. There are 150 of these things spread throughout Osiria, which will receive, mix, and compress mana and the power from the crystals into a high-powered beam via magic pipeline that will run from his castle to these machines. These machines are then connected and controlled by the Oblivion Gauntlet, which is the heart of these machines. Oblivion Gauntlet. At its heart.
So the mage is using not only his power, but also the power of these machines against Osiria? Oh, come on. What the heck?
Stupid thing is glitchy.
Helen asked, crossing her arms and holding her chin with her hand.
Not exactly. That is what I first thought. But then it occurred to me. Why do these machines use mana and crystal power if they're just going to destroy Osiria? The Black Mage himself has... The Black Mage himself can do that on his own. The Black Mage can do that on his own. The Black Mage can do that alone.
I need some water. But for those of you who... For those of you who did come, who are watching, if you are watching or if you're listening, welcome, welcome. I hope you were at least mildly entertained by what you see or hear here today. All right. So... So last night we were talking about what was going on with the Oblivion Gauntlet and what the Black Mage is up to. So this was Porter talking. From what the code revealed, this is something called Beyond the Clouds. There are 150 of these spread throughout Osiria, which will receive, mix, and compress mana and the power from the crystals into a high-powered beam via magic pipeline that will run from his castle to these machines. These machines are then connected and controlled by the Oblivion Gauntlet at its heart. So the mage is using not only the power, so the mage is, okay, not only using his power, but also these machines against Osiria? Helen asked, crossing her arms and holding her chin. Not exactly. Oh, okay, so let's get rid of this. That is what I first thought. But then it occurred to me. Why do these machines use mana and crystal power if they are just going to destroy Osiria? The Black Mage can do that alone, so why begin collecting so much power? Everyone stayed silent, as they thought through different options. Okay. There we go. Everyone stayed silent as they thought through different options until Antonia raised her hand. What if the mage, let's see, Black Mage isn't planning to destroy just the land and the people living on it? What if he wants to destroy the entirety of this dimension?
That would answer a lot. But according to the calculations I was able to decrypt...
Pokepins, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. I'm just, I don't know if you saw me go live last night, but my stream was interrupted by a power outage. So I wanted to actually have this chapter completed today, but it was interrupted by said power outage. So lasted for about an hour, and I was getting sleepy, so I ended up passing out and wasn't able to continue. By the way, everyone in the chat and who is watching this later, this is Pokepens over here. She is a friend and a fellow streamer. Be sure and go to her channel and give her a follow and a punch in the face and told her I told you to do so. Don't you love things beyond your control? Yes, they are absolutely amazing.
That would answer a lot, but according to the calculations I was able to decrypt, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of times more power than needed to do that. So, what is he really after? What is he after? What is it that he wants to destroy? It can't be Minerva, because she's already dead.
Then what if those cannons are a way to destroy his castle? Jenny asked. As if they were like a mortar so that in case we invade, he can get away safely while we're crushed inside. Okay, let me do this. There we go. While it crushed us. While it crushed us. That still wouldn't explain why he had... still wouldn't explain why... he made the Great Gears, a smaller version of the Grand Gears in Mysteria for artificial mana. That still wouldn't explain why he... No. Why he's making artificial mana, harvesting mana from the... Okay, so we need to get rid of this. That still wouldn't explain why he's making artificial mana, harvesting mana from the ground, and has made the Oblivion Gauntlet, which uses the power of the Rubian and the 5 crystal husks. If he were just going to... If he were just to... Okay. If he were going to smash it all... If he were to smash it all... No. If he only wanted to smash it all. Okay. If he only wanted to smash it all, why would he develop all of this? It left everyone puzzled. Even as they helped to unload the large null crystal. Even as they helped unload the large null crystal, they still couldn't figure out a way to understand what the Black Mage was after in creating something so devastating. Porter, can you find out where these Beyond the Clouds things are? You know, Syria? It'll be good. Let's see. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. It'll be good training for our apprentices if they can eliminate them and decrease the chances of the Black Mage succeeding, Olsen asked. Porter nodded, saying that it would be at least a week before he could give positive locations of the cannons. Canoons. The problems still plagued them as they made their journey back to Herbtown and gave a report to Iran and the other masters on their As they journeyed back. Okay. Let's see. But when a mass of children came running toward them. Itchy leg. Their thoughts were pushed to the backs of their minds. Hold on. We need to get rid of this and move this up here. But when a mass of children came running toward them, begging to play another game of Defeat the Mage, their thoughts were... They set aside their thoughts. The Guardians agreed, but only if they were allowed to change out their armor. Okay. Said game would be a welcome distraction for a time. Oh, wait. No. I want to do something different here. As they returned to their... Oh, wait, I forgot to add this. Okay. Okay, I need to go back further over here. No. I can actually put it down here. Huts. Jenny could feel a tension coming from Olsen. Tension coming from Olsen. After changing her clothes, after becoming such a skilled ninja, Olsen appeared to better hide and hold in his emotions. But the physical markers could still be seen. But Jenny could still see the changes in his body language. Now that he was such a skilled ninja. Oops. After changing her clothes, Jenny jogged to his hut, knocking on the door frame to catch his attention. But the voice that beckoned her was icy and angry. Beckoned her in. Hey, I just wanted to see if there was something bothering you, Jenny asked. Okay. No. See. Your whole body is tense. Jenny asked as she pushed aside the curtain door. Nope. Wrong your. And then I guess I need a comma here. See what was bothering you. Wilson sighed, holding his change. Holding his claw for a while before dropping the heavy metal glove onto the cot, onto his cot. Tell me, have you had feelings for Jack long? He asked, not facing her. Oops. Jenny was taken aback, thinking over the past few days. Sure, she'd thought about Jack more often than usual, but nothing serious. Turned her head in surprise. Surprise, that's what I thought. Okay. What are you talking about? Don't lie to. Don't avoid my question, Jenny. I can see the way you look at him and how often you seem to be drawn to his side. No. Oops, I forgot a word. How often? stand by him. All right, let me see. Let me do this real quick because I need to look at something. Go all the way back to the beginning here. Let's see. Okay, so it's not in this chapter. Okay. Okay, so the event that I'm going to be referring to here shortly is from a different chapter. Don't have feelings for Jack. It's just a coincidence. Don't lie to me either. Wilson snapped. His gaze locking on to her. What's another word for snap? Or snapping? Let's see. Okay, I need synonyms. That's what I need. Okay, so I think this is the right one. So, yes, cool. So, okay, so we're going to do this a little differently then. We're going to go growled. Snapping. Snapping his gaze to her. With lowered brow and pink haze lifting from his shoulders. I guess I can actually make this bigger for you guys so you can actually see what's going on. I forgot about that. Sorry. Both in this one and in probably the previous one. For a long while, Jenny said nothing. Her being locked in place while questioning everything she'd thought regarding Jack and Olson. I got my kitty cat over here. So it was just that's why I leaned over. She gets like when vacuuming happens, she like tries to hold on. She tries to escape the beast of vacuum. And she usually comes into my room to escape and she hides underneath my bed. All right. Thoughts about Jack and Olson. What? What gave you this idea? She finally whispered. Pulling her arms around herself. The way when Jack had finished off Rex's guards, I saw the way you looked at him. It was the same way you... Oh. You used to look at me. Okay, give me a second here. I need to make an adjustment on my side of things in my room, so give me just a second. All right, there we go. I had to turn the fan on over here. I've also seen you. You've also been going to his training grounds more often. And we waited for Matthew. How? Okay. Come on. Oh, stop it. I hate when it does that. You've also been training with him more often. Jenny looking away from him and leaning against the door frame. I could say the same for you. You've been meditating with Helen since we began our journey, but lately it's been happening more and more. Olson nodded, flexing his hand. Flexing his hands. Just tell me when your feelings began shifting. Olson demanded, though his voice seemed more pained than angry. For a long while, Jenny thought. A sad smile spreading across her face. And sad smile. A sad smile. There we go. It started after and Matthew kissed. I began to wonder what it was like to be held by Jack. Jack and his brute strength. Or Matthew and their brute strength. I need to actually do a little bit of research on something. I will be right back on it. Okay, so when did was it here? Ah, okay. Okay. So there. But it was after it wasn't until after Horntail flew past the when we were going to Magesha and Horntail flew past the ticket's ship, Jack was the one to hold me in place while I redirected the winds. I think that was the point where I really began to see him differently. Again, Wilson nodded. Sucking on his bottom lip. And pulling on his T-shirt. I talked with Helen after she and Jack broke up. She said her reason for ending it was that she was the realization she was only using Jack so that she wouldn't be lonely in a strange world. After time passed, though, she found her feelings waning. And rather than drag out the relationship until it became poisonous, she broke off their bond. She bork. No, she broke off their bond. Do you think we have been doing the same? Using one another for comfort and not because we mesh? I don't know. But in thinking about it, you and Helen would be a much better match. But thinking about it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that, even though it's going to tell me that, no, you can't do that. Oh, wait. Ah! I forgot. I got to bring this back. Sorry about that, guys. Either way, you know, you're really more so listening to anything that I'm doing rather than actually seeing it. Jenny side. Reaching up. Reaching. No. Let's see. Reaching to her clothes, resting beside his cot, and holding them to her chest. As small tears began to sting her eyes. Oops. Olsen sighed as well. Strapping on his claw and leaving. Give me just a second, chat. I will be right back. All right, chat. I'm back. And pushing past her before breaking into a sprint. Toward the shoreline. Shoreline? No, shoreline. Jenny wanted to say one last goodbye to him, but instead trudged back to her hut. Okay. Where she found her mother. Jenny. The children are what is wrong? She asked as Jenny dropped her clothes and ran to her, holding her tightly and letting out a pained sob. All right. Okay. So there's that section I wanted to include in there. All right. Going back to the ravine. Shamos. Okay. Shamos did the best he could to help his master recover from his wounds, despite being surrounded by the bodies of his fellow hoblins, who those blasted guardians. No. Hoblins. Let's just get rid of this. Of course they did. A heavy presence appeared behind him. Hundreds. No. No. A heavy presence appeared behind him, hundreds of times more frightful than Rex. Shamos ran to a hiding spot where whispers hung around them. What would you know of my life, you being so powerful and all? Rex shot back as he tried to sit up, clutching his wounds. The black mage's eyes smiled as whispers filled the cavern. Again, pointing to Rex ominously. That's hilarious, mage. But I know you didn't come here to gloat about my being beaten. About my defeat. Okay. That's hilarious, mage. But you didn't come here to boast about my defeat. I will have my revenge. The mage's eyes became serious as he turned his palm to him. The clouds outside the cave clapped loudly as a strike of lightning. As lightning struck a tree. Next to the cave, and beside the cave entrance. The fire that would have started was quickly blown out. No. Inside the cave, swirled and outside the cave, parted as thunder. Inside the cave. Clapped and lightning struck. The mage lowered his hand and disappeared in a wisp of black smoke, while all that remained of Shamos and Rex was an enormous pool of blood, staining the snow and freezing on the ice surrounding it. When he returned to the castle, Eleanor was there to greet him. "Master, there might be a problem," she said. Once the black mage had once, she said, casually sitting in the chair next to his crystal. As he casually sat in the chair next to her, he looked at Eleanor, waiting and waited for her explanation. Okay. She said. As he casually sat in the chair next to his crystal ball, he looked at Eleanor and waited for her explanation. The machinist was running a diagnostic on the computer that would run on the computer powering computer controlling the Oblivion Gauntlet's higher functions, and found that someone has copied the entire program. Okay. It is let's see. We suspect it was taken to the Omega sector to be decrypted. No, Omega sector for decryption. The black. Let's see. I suspect whomever made this copy took it to it. Now I'm starting to sound like I'm Irish. He took it. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I suspect whoever made this copy took it to the Omega Sector for decryption. The Black Mage narrowed his eyes as he thought. Or narrowed his eyes in thought. But shook his head as whispers filled the air around them. But why waste the resources and time in creating something you aren't even going to use? Eleanor asked. The mage turned his gaze to her as she handed him a glass of her mana potion, while Dragon came in and knelt to the ground. And knelt. We're just going to put him knelt. The black mage held up his hand, making a cloud of dark aura build in his palm, and then reveal a picture of Perion. Oh, come on. I hate when it does this. Are you still suspect of Urgoth's actions? Eleanor asked. Walking to Dragon and placing a hand on his shoulder. Agitated hisses arose from the Black Mage as he clenched his fist, snuffing out the image he had been showing. He showed them. I'm sure you would enjoy sending him back to the grave should he fail. Dragon commented as they left the room. Dragon put his arm around Eleanor's waist as they walked down the hall, pulling her closer to him, enjoying the new relationship he was building with her. All right, I need some water. All right. The night was peaceful. Far more peaceful, it seemed, than it had been in a long time. Athena tried her best to stay awake, while Eckhart and his Nightwalkers took the night watch. No. There we go. Though thoughts about her daughter kept her awake. Enough. And now that she and Olsen had mutually ended. Okay, so we are back. Sorry about that. I had a internet connection hiccup. So, that's why it was kind of just, it blipped out there for a minute. Um, hopefully this is all still on one stream. We'll see. Okay. 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 So, okay. Let's see if we can continue on here. Hopefully. And be some time before she healed. But Jenny opposite her daughter, Mir and Yvonne had returned that day as well after making rounds. Oh, no. Had returned from advance scouting to see what other from scouting Victoria let's see. Mir and Yvonne. Opposite her daughter, Mir and Yvonne had returned from scouting Victoria to see what other things were out in the world, or as air reconnaissance for the border guards of Herbtown. Usually the two of them slept separately, but this night it was cooler than most. Mir wasn't getting enough warmth from the fire that burned in their Mir wasn't getting enough warmth from the fire in their small hut's fireplace, so she slept with Yvonne. Even though he was human, Mir was comforted by the warmth of his body against her, sleeping soundly. Oh, no. No, actually, we want to get rid of this altogether. Okay, let's see. Earlier in the evening. Okay. Okay. Earlier in the evening, Mir and Yvonne had returned from scouting Victoria to see what other things were out in the world, or as an air reconnaissance for the border guards of Herbtown. Usually, the two of them slept separately, but this night was cooler than most. Mir wasn't getting enough warmth from the fire in their small hut's fireplace, so she slept with Yvonne. Even though he was human, Mir was comforted by the warmth of his body against her. Sleeping, no. But her sleep wasn't meant to last through the entire night. Not this night. Mir opened her eyes as the symbol on her head glowed, and a powerfully painful pressure surged over her back, lighting the room in a dull gold glow. Mir covered her forehead to not wake Yvonne, and gently crawled out from under his arms. Crawled from under his arms into the bathroom. She looked into the mirror with terror in her eyes. With terror as the gold glow continued on her back and forehead, lighting the room around her. No. With shaking hands, she's let's see. Okay, seriously. Make up your mind. Do you want it or not? Okay, good. She looked into the mirror with terror as the gold glow continued on her back and forehead. With shaking hands, Mir slipped the dress from her shoulders and let it fall to the ground as the glow became brighter. Slowly, she turned and then gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. Covering her mouth and collapsing to the ground. Tears filled her eyes. As she felt her heart begin to break while sitting against the wall. No. This can't be happening. It's too soon. Mother, help me. How can I stop this? Alright, so that's the end of the chapter. Now, let's go back and read through it to make... let's take care of all of this things here. Shemo snickered. Now that many lower-class rulers are gone, the restoration of his master's rule was assured. Now we're going to dismiss that, because that's what I wanted to say. Nope. We want to dismiss that. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, 2 pull. Nope. Okay. Cringing a bit in pain. Okay. I had to slow my swing. What hit you was only about half of... Okay, so let's just get rid of this, because it's just bleh. Okay. I see. Okay, so... I know, I just taught you that, but try to avoid using that on me for your safety. Oops. Nope. You might get... okay. Wondering... Ah, yes. Okay... They tried to overpower, using their guns almost like swords, deflecting shots into the air. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. As they spun, firing rounds until Jack grabbed Eris's wrist. A sickening click. Okay. That's how Jack would talk, I think. Oops, no. I actually wanted that suggestion. And I don't want to be laugh. I want to be half-baked. Okay. Is comprised like magic. Null energy. Okay, so what is the problem there? Social ceremony must... Okay. No. It requires a special ceremony before the staff will grant its power. There we go. That's a little better. And, of course, I spelled it wrong. And med kits. Let's just get rid of this. Dismiss it. No. Okay. Oops. And okay. Her reeling into Jack. Okay, there we go. Reeling. Reeling. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so what is this? Okay. Okay, chain research is now second pulled. Pull the map to the cave. Our Rex was asleep under seal. So there's a direction. Okay. The great chains attached to it becoming slack. No. Until the sound of cracking ice split the air. There we go. That sounds a little better. Bony. Okay. You and me, we're the same. We're both warriors, seeking to be as powerful as we can, as possible. Discovered. Okay, as, I think is what I meant. Okay, so let's just get rid of this. As they walked back to the Garage. There we go. Okay. No, dismiss that. Okay. Okay. All right. So that has all the stuff that Grammarly decided was bad. So, with that in mind, we are now going to post this on fanfictions.net. So, give me a second here. I don't want to give away information over here. That's why it's hidden. But, I'm just doing stuff. And this will be available shortly. Okay. Okay. Do this. It will also be available up on Archive of Our Own. Whichever website you like better, you can use it. I don't care. From what I understand, I think fanfiction... I'm not sure if AO3 does it, but I'm pretty sure that fanfiction does. Allows you guys to post reviews anonymously. I don't know about AO3, but if it does, have at it.